What's up? We have audio today. I made sure that the mic was working before going live. So here we are. Everything is exactly where we left it yesterday. We are going to pick back up on the Voron V0.2 Fysetc kit, and hopefully we make a little bit more progress than we did yesterday. For those of you who were here yesterday, you might remember we got the Z-axis done. Mostly, I think. I don't know. There's a lot of steps and a lot of instructions. But we got this done. So, today we are moving on. I was working on trying to get caught up in the instruction. No audio again? I don't... Why did that default that way? Hello? Are you sure there's no audio? Test, test, test. Do we have audio? Weird. I wonder what happened. Anyway. So, I was trying to get myself kind of caught back up on where I was in the instructions from yesterday. I'm not sure where the audio went. So, it looks like it is going to be time to install our first heat set inserts into a part. I think. Yes. Yes, it is. All right. I'm going to get the soldering iron warming back up, which I'm really excited to test this press situation. I've used it a little bit. I think this is going to make life easy. It's either going to make life really easy or really difficult. Let's see if it only goes to 235. Sweet. So if you haven't watched the video on this doodad right here, this is a heat set insert press. I'm going to set this off to the side. I don't think we need it for a minute. So this heat set insert press, in addition to having really strong magnets, hopefully is going to make the chore of installing these heat set inserts into plastic parts just a little bit easier. At least that was the goal when I purchased it. My bag of heat sets, soldering irons getting warm. Bring this over here. So it's really cool. The soldering iron is rigidly mounted into this. And it functions really similarly to a 3D printer. It's got a depth stop and everything. So far, so good with it. The spring makes it return up. But we are about to give it a go. Oh, I lied. So, the instructions say that if you have a Kirigami bed, which is a really cool user mod, you can skip to step 47. Well, we don't have a Kirigami bed. However, Fysetc hooked it up. Instead of using a Kirigami bed mounting system, they have this CNC machined like aluminum one. So we're going to be using this little fella instead. So we might be bringing back that Z-axis because it looks like bed assembly is what's coming. Yes. All right, I lied. We're not touching the soldering iron yet. Bed carrier. Okay. So the bed carrier is going to be mounting to this gantry, which conveniently is ready to go. I'm really trying to stay organized as we go because I don't want to make a mess, I don't want to lose stuff, I don't want to have to look for things. M2 by 8s. Let's see, these are M2, those are M2 by 6s, those are M3 by 8s, M2 by 8s. Okay. I wonder if this is the right size. Nope. Okay. Aha. Trying to be organized and methodical, and when things are not in use, I'm trying to stick them into our magnetic part tray over there. Because I am mortified of losing something that we do not have an extra of. Let me see, let me turn this so you guys can see it and also gets it in the light a little bit better for me. I'm gonna apologize because my hand's probably in the way. I don't know what to tell you other than we kind of just have to deal with that. Precision. Getting cold out here in the shed. We're going to have to fire up the kerosene heater before no time. I'm hoping to be able to get it insulated out here sooner rather than later. Because I don't want to spend all winter cold as heck. Especially if we have a rough winter. Ohio winters can get pretty chilly. Okay, we might have to switch on this one to the provided tools. I don't know yet. Nope, so far so good. Also kind of trying to keep things square as we go. I'm really excited about this bed mount. Like, I think that the original bed mount that was designed for the V0 is really nice looking, but I think something like this machined carriage that Fysetc made, or like the LDO kit comes with a really nice Kurigami bed. A couple of my friends have built LDO V0s, and I'm pretty jealous. I get to deal with you for 3 days. What do you mean 3 days? Is that just because the stream yesterday, today, and then League tomorrow night? Okay. Need one more of these M3 by 6s, 8s. These are M3 by 8s. Could be worse. Happy to have someone to talk to, man. You know what? That's a tough angle for the screwdriver, so we're going with the good old-fashioned Allen key. And I'm just giving these a quick little once-over. I don't want to rush anything, but I'm really excited to get this thing built. So I'm kind of thinking we might try to get as many V0 streams in as we possibly can. So it's kind of binding near the top. I don't love that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently remove just a touch of tension on these screws and tighten them back down. These are going to be the ones that hold the axis in place. Dude, I'm really not trying to make this a 52-week project. Like, I'm really hoping that it's a little bit more like 6 or 7 weeks at the absolute most. Okay. Now we're binding a little bit towards the bottom. We're going to use our brains here. Pull that out. Oh, yes. So that is super smooth now. Basically what I'm trying to do here is just put these rails all the way at one end with the screws a little bit loose, snug them up, and then do the same on the other side. Yeah, that's pretty good. Still a little snug at the top. But I think it's going to be okay. So, too little. I really don't want this to be 52 parts, Calyx. Like, I'm really gonna do everything in my power to make this W52 parts. Elizabeth says, once we get past the frame setup, it goes faster until you hit wiring. Well, super conveniently, I shouldn't have to do much wiring. Everything should be relatively plug and play. This kit comes with the umbilical setup, and it should just all be plug and play, except for wire management, which I'm kind of terrified of wire management. Okay. We might have to come back to something in a minute, but I think we're good to proceed here, because we're not installing all the printed parts. Hey, look at me. So the next step in the instructions tells us that we need to loosen 3 screws to make sure that things are square and running smoothly and of an equal distance. All right, we're gonna follow, I did it my way, but we're gonna follow the instruction way. So you're coming out, loosening you up, loosening you up, and loosening you up. Okay, now that we're loose, loosen these 3 screws, bring your bed assembly all the way to the bottom. Then I can tighten screw number 1, which is this bottom one. Okay. Move the bed assembly to the top and ensure that we're perpendicular. Okay. Then tighten screw number 2, which is this one. Okay. Check for binding. Oh, that's way smoother. This is why the instructions are important. They're here to help us. Sometimes we think we know better, but the instructions are written by people who know more about 3D printers than we do. Oh yeah, that is butter. Precision. I still have a rat's nest behind mine. Well, all you have to do is manage the wires. Have you never had a management job? Yes, I've had a management job. I do not ever want to have a management job again. That's why Editor Beau is essentially a partner, because he is a good friend, he does great work, and more importantly, I don't want to be in charge of people. Managing people is a tough thing to do, because humans. All right, now we need to look at installing the Z end stop micro switch. Okay, I'm thinking that's going to be back in this box. I wish that I had more space to sprawl out while we did all of this. That is not the reality of this situation. There's our adorable little bed. Teeny weeny little bed heater. Heat set inserts, some wiring. I still have no idea what this is, but I know it's not an end stop. All right, time to go browsing for an end stop. Team Cap. That was a role that I didn't go in quest of. Hey, look at, oh, network card. Spare wires. That was a roll that was thrust upon. Cable chain, probably gonna need that in a second. Little teeny weeny fans. Tool head board, more teeny weeny fans. Hello. There used to be an end stop. Okay. That's all of zero consequence. Now it might be in this pile of stuff on the table already, but we're gonna look. Okay. We've got wires. We've got thingies. We've got hot end componentry. This is a USB network card, tool head board, teeny weeny fans again, screen, spare stuff for the linear rails. Yo, I have no idea where this end stop went. It's the extruder motor. That's trash. Oh. There's too much going on. This is kind of an overwhelming process. These are all spare connectors and a badge. Bed leveling springs. So conveniently, all of the screws are in individual Ziploc bags. I did not self-source this. Fysetc was generous enough to provide us with this kit, and I am incredibly grateful for that, because I would have lost my mind self-sourcing this. I started working on my 2.4 on the end of the wires. You know, I've seen somewhere, when we did the unboxing stream, I did see an end stop. For the life of me. Hey, look at you go! Ha ha ha! Elizabeth, you gotta hang out more. You're helpful. Anyway, so when I started building my my 2.4, it was right before the LDO kit actually came out, and it was not an option to get, like the only options then were Fysetc and Blue Rolls, and neither of them necessarily had the greatest of reviews. So I went the self-source route for most everything. Like I was able to get the LDO frame and motor kit, but I couldn't get like the whole kit and caboodle. So I just had boxes on boxes showing up from just everywhere. This little baby drag chain. Okay. SR. Okie dokie, time to rummage back into the parts bin. I don't know what color this part's going to be. So I will say this. I'm super stoked that Fysetc included the printed parts for this. Like, I think that's for the print bed. I will say, I am of the belief that you will probably have an easier time figuring out what in the heck anything is if you have some involvement in printing the parts yourself. Okie doke. That's so smooth. You know, there is a little Voron heart on there. I have a hard time with directions. I really, really like to just go rogue and just do my own thing. And it was made expressly clear to me to not do that with this by several people. Like, I have a really bad tendency to skip over several pages of instructions. We are going to affix our end stop into this beautiful red part with two M2 by 10 self-tapping screws. So these are some itty bitty little guys, which makes sense because end stops are not big. But I have this really bad habit of just going rogue. And oh, this needs a Phillips head? Why is this a little Phillips head? I'm irrationally annoyed about the fact that this step in the process is calling for a Phillips head screw. Over the last handful of years, I have grown to really truly love using hex keys for everything. Hex or Torx. Phillips is just not as nice of a fastener. Points to Fysetc on this. This appears to be an Omron on, like an actual Omron switch. Since we're tapping into a 3D printed part, we're going to be kind of gentle there. Okay. And then this is going to go Wait a minute. Is it going at the bottom or at the top? Bottom of the rail. Hey. Remember this dude from yesterday that I thought we were missing stuff? I was just jumping ahead again. Don't mind me. I guarantee that this is going to be the most chaotic Voron build most people are ever going to see. And I'm okay with this. I am 100% fine by that. Calyx. It is not war mount. Also, this is really light. This is like t-shirt material, but it is not war mount. I mean, it's not like freezing cold, but it is definitely not warm. M3 by 8 button heads. M3 by 8 button heads. All right, we need 2 of those. It is not like 90. I don't know what temperature your house is, but it's like 54 degrees. All right. I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I hope this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. I'm from Ohio, and it's freezing here. Like, out in my shed. So, per the... I need another M3. Like, I'm not freezing, but I'm also not warm. Okay. We've misplaced things. So, this is... Calyx. This is not still warm. It's not cold yet. You're a little more north. Like, I have friends who are from Florida who will like put on a like, for us, what is a winter coat when the temperature is below like 70? Like below 70 is parka weather if you're from Miami. Now I'm not that cold. I mean, it's not warm, but I think Calyx is losing his mind. It's still hot. Cold is like 40. What is uncomfortably hot to you if cold is like 40? Okie doke. End stop engaged. Roll smooth. See if you guys can hear the end stop. This mic is really good. Yes, yes, yes. Click, click, click. Remove upright. Now, wait a minute. All right. Now the instructions are telling us to take things back apart. That we went through all of this work yesterday to make sure we're properly square and assembled. Okay. I'm trusting them. Oh. Jeez. Okay. So, I took the end stop back off because apparently one of these screws were not all the way tight. Loosen. 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 Run down. Tighten. 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 I swear it's going to be a miracle if this printer ever actually prints anything. Back to the de-racking. Loosen. 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 All the way down. Tighten. All the way up. Tighten. Back down. Oh God. We've got a problem. This thing is super out of square now. This is fine. Everything is fine. We're still very early into the build. Everything is fine. So I have to re-square the gantry because my fiddling has resulted in some skewing, and I'm not a professional anything. Yeah, it is pretty, like, it's moving at a camber now, because I messed up. I'm just glad that we're still early enough in the process that it's not a grave inconvenience to go back and fix things. At 58 millimeters. Just looked at this. Yes, 58. I'd rather fix it now while there's a good opportunity than cause issues down the road. Like, I realize that this isn't something that would necessarily be the hardest thing in the world to fix. However, I realize that seeing as we're in these like foundational stages right now, every single mistake that I make is going to be compounded as time goes on. So I really am not looking to make things worse for future me, if you know what I mean. What? Yes. A good set of digital calipers is one of the absolute most important tools that you can have, especially if you're wanting to do any of your own CAD modeling. Like if you're trying to model a part to fix something, a decent set of digital calipers is going to go such a long way. Like, these are by no stretch of the imagination, like, these are not, was it Mitutoyo's? But they're good enough for what I do. I went with the 8-inch calipers because I found that the set of 6-inch calipers that I had in the past didn't quite get the job done sometimes. But I am now finding myself kind of wishing that I got 6-inch calipers, because sometimes 8-inch calipers are a little on the unwieldy side. Okay, that's better. Oh yeah, that's way better. Which means this can go back in. You're gonna try to remake the bowling ball holders. Okay. Good luck. I mean, it's not an overly complicated design by any stretch of the imagination, so that's actually gonna be a fantastic project for you. That'll be a really good project, Alex. Do you want to cheat and I tell you the circumference of the arc, or diameter of the circle used for the arc on this? Or are you going to try to math it all out yourself? Okay. Okay, had to do a quick sanity check. Now, these can come off. Please, don't be a problem. Spooky. Okay. All right, so now we have a free range z-axis. I think that I have no idea which extrusions we're going to be using for this. We're going to go a couple steps forward. Okay. Okay, I got it. So we're going to be using these no-hole fellas. We're going to slide these out of our way, and where are our M3 nuts? M2, M2, M3, not nuts. Self-tappers, M3 nuts. Okay. These are non-ferrous, so I can't use the part tray. And it's doing me an annoy. All right, so this one gets 2 nuts in the top. Oh, nuts. And then 1 in what's going to be the side facing me. And then this one is going to get 2 on the side facing me. Keep our bag sealed, because I'm really not trying to drop my nuts. Okay. Oh. I'm dumb. Man, am I dumb. Those are going in the extrusion that's already part of the Z-axis. I'm over here panicking. I'm having fun, but it is increasingly evident that this is not a process for everybody. Like when we're all said and done with everything, I'm gonna definitely do a video talking about my thoughts from the build, and this is not for everybody. They are mildly magnetic, especially considering the foreign manufacturing. Let's see how magnetic. Those are pretty magnetic. Those were not what I was looking for. So, the screwdriver has a magnet in the end, and then there's also a super strong magnet there. I wonder if we can pick any of these nuts up. Okay, we can get a few. For proof, there's a couple. But I guess it's my magnetic parts tray isn't very magnetic. It is less than, I mean, I bought it at Harbor Freight, so I think it was on sale at Harbor Freight when I bought it. Also, Hypermotive Racing, howdy howdy. I hear motorcycles right now, but yeah, there's a non-zero chance that you heard a semi. Semi, motorcycles, just general activity in that general direction. There's a lot of it. Okay, nuts are preloaded now that they're in the right place. And you get trains. Yes, you live in an area where we actually had quite a lot of industry back in the day. A lot of transportation came through that way. Okay, now I gotta load 2 nuts into this bottom extrusion. Ah, you slippery devil. Boom. Raspberry Pi mounting. I don't have a Raspberry Pi to worry about, but thank you. All right, now we're going to mount these little dudes. What's our best way to do this? Oh gosh, how am I going to get this square? So we're mounting the y-axis right now. No, I am not in Pennsylvania. I am in another cold Midwestern state. I'm in Ohio. Have been my whole life. All right, so that's mounted. It passes the finger go, no go test. That does not mean that it is remotely square. Dude, we had days, Calyx, we had days last year where it was like -20 wind chill. I don't want to hear it. Like, it's not that cold right now. Yes, you're correct. It's not comfortable right now. Like, I'm not gonna sit outside and have an adult beverage, but I'm also not gonna freeze to death. Probably. I am hoping immensely that there is... What? Hello? I dropped my nuts. Oh, nuts. You guys tired of the terrible humor yet? If your school didn't cancel, then it's not that cold. Everything revolves around your school. Some of us live in the adult world. What do you think about that, buckaroo? 2 go here. Calyx, the adult world is a very sad and depressing place, and enjoy your youth. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that high school was the best 4 years of my life, because it most certainly was not. However, enjoy being young, dude. Definitely enjoy being young. Yeah, so actually, it's kind of funny that you say that, Hypermotive. Michigan is actually like one of the bowling capitals of the country still. There are, it's one of the last places, or there's one of only a handful of places where there is an actual bowling ball factory. Motive bowling balls are manufactured in Michigan, as is the company's headquarters, also in Michigan, which is pretty cool. Gah. We actually, here in Ohio, this is pretty cool, in a town neighbor's mine, we used to have a bowling ball factory. Hello? And used to be able to go buy equipment factory direct. My grandpa was telling me about it, like around the time when he started bowling. Oh gosh, over 40 years ago now. They used to go buy stuff straight from the factory. We actually used to have several bowling ball factories in Ohio. Muskegon. Are you from, like, Muskegon, Ohio? Or is it Muskegon, Michigan that I'm thinking of? Or that you're talking about for Motive? Is that in response to me talking about Motive being made? Also, this is starting to kind of resemble a 3D printer, and this end stop is going to drive me bananas. Michigan, okay. Motive used to mold Brunswick cores before they made their own bowling balls. No, I did not know that. That is really, that's actually pretty fascinating. Speaking of Brunswick, we used to have a Brunswick factory here in Ohio. AMF, which is now part of Brunswick, or the other way around, one of the two, is involved in like everything. At one point they were making like submarines and part of the nuke programs and things. I am not a Brunswick bowler. I'm a lefty, so by law, as a left-handed bowler, I'm required to have a purple hammer in my bag. So I have one of those, but I like storm equipment. All right, so this thing is starting to kind of halfway resemble a 3D printer. Now it's time to install some M3x10 button head screws. And these little fellas are gonna go in the ends of these extrusions. I used the purple last week, Calyx. Your dad and my grandpa made me switch to it in the second game. And I'm glad they did. Do you use it as often as I should? It depends on who you ask. It depends on who you ask. Probably not. So our house is kind of weird. It's yeah, the hard part about being, so at every bit of advantage that lefties have is also a bit negative, because everybody thinks, oh yeah, being left-handed is great, you don't have to move. Okay, that's not necessarily untrue, but when it's time for us to move, it is harder for a lot of left-handed people to make that judgment call. When to move and where. You have the replay Builder's Mark. This is simulcast in the future. Simulcast. Exactly, Hypermotive. And I had two or three other lefties on my side, which is oh, that soldering iron's still hot, y'all. I beat you, Calyx, but we almost had to, ooh, there was almost a medical incident. Oh, there was almost a medical incident. The only reason I didn't burn myself is I faintly felt the heat. Oh gosh. Oh, that was almost not good. All right, we've got our screws installed. I feel like this should probably be all the way tight, but I don't know. The instructions didn't exactly tell me to do that. So now these extrusions latch onto these screws. Oh my gosh, guys, this is starting to be a 3D printer. Oh. We're still taking bets for the ambulance call. I was given 2 minutes yesterday, and I surpassed your expectations, which is not something that I get to do very often, guys. Ah, dummy, pay attention. What am I even doing here? What? This isn't even the right extrusion. What am I doing? You guys got me distracted and just over here talking away and making a mess of stuff. Okay. Yeah. Is this right? I've got to go check and see what H extrusions are. I have to say that keeping track of which extrusion is which, I probably should have done some sort of labeling. Okay, cool. I had the right extrusions. Whew, that was close. I really wish that I had some sort of labeling system on these extrusions. I should have done that instead of just having separate piles on the desk. But, you know, what do you do? Okie dokie. All right. So, hypermotive racing, what part of the world are you from that you're also an avid enough bowler to know to make fun of left-handed individuals? If you don't mind my asking. Obviously, if you're not comfortable answering, don't. Just curious. It's not very often that I'm in a situation where I get to nerd out about 3D printing and bowling in the same place. Oh man, this is starting to come together. That's true. That's true. I said it's not very often. Okay, I guess weekly is pretty often. What? Oh. Got ahead of myself again. Is it built yet? No. No, it is not. At the rate that I'm going, your guys' 52-week estimate just might be accurate. There we go, me going rogue again. I need you guys to hold me accountable to following the flippin' instructions. I'm over here just doing stuff, like, just out here on side quests apparently. Here I was, excited that stuff was coming together, and I'm putting stuff together wrong. You guys are supposed to help and hold me accountable and not let me make bonehead mistakes. Looking at you, Calyx. Okay, there we go. Yep. Fourth time's the charm. Someday, eventually, this is going to be a Voron 0.2. All right, I've got a bet for you, Mark. I know that he's busy this week, and the print drive is coming and all of that. What do you want to bet that I managed to get? So I want you guys to keep in mind, I have a Voron 2.4 that is in a state of like 75 to 80% completion that I started building in 2021. The build has been in progress for 2 years. What do you want to bet that I have this V0.2 done before Loyal finishes either of his Vorons? And not only that, I have this done within the calendar year. I'm willing to bet that this build is done within the calendar year. I'm really trying to make sure that all of the building happens on stream. Like, I'm sure there's probably, you see that look of panic in my eyes? I heard pre-installed screws starting to go bananas in here, and it terrified me. I thought I was about, or nuts. I thought I was about to drop more nuts. I sound just like LM. What do you mean I sound like Loyal? Is that a compliment or an insult? I'm gonna take it as a compliment. Loyal's a pretty inspiring guy. If I could sound a little bit like Loyal, I'll take it. Whose side are you on? I really want to build a Micron. I really want to build a Micron. Yeah, buddy. We should convince Patrick and Casey. Mark, we should convince Patrick and Casey to take over completing the Voron build and be Loyal's off-camera assistants for his Voron. Thirty-seven. Nowhere near 37. Don't be mean to Loyal. Adjust the frame so that 37mm measurement is achieved. If I'm being honest, I'm having a hard time telling what this 37mm measurement needs to be. Adjust the frame so that the 37mm measurement is achieved. Then you can tighten the horizontal cross members. God, this picture is... I'm thinking it's up here. So we're going with it. You think, well, Mark, you really think that Patrick and Casey can focus long enough to get that done in one stream? They're off on they're doing side quests of their own, man. The sim rig, I'm excited to see that. Oh, nice. That's like dead nuts. pretty good there. Stop sticking. Okay. Cool. All right. Uh-oh. I've been fearing getting into this packaging. This is all of our enclosure parts. FormBot is doing a pre-order for a Micron. Dude, I really wish you hadn't told me that. I really wish you hadn't told me that. I just spent all of my fun budget for the month. I bought 2 days ago. There is a special run clear Flipper Zero coming at $4.99. Bruh. There's a special edition clear Flipper Zero that I pre-ordered yesterday, 2 days ago, whatever. So I do not have the budget for a Micron unless I can somehow convince FormBot to send one. I might try to convince FormBot to send us a Micron. Gotta say, the brown is not a great look. I mean, I guess it kind of contrasts. It's time to install this deck panel, but it's pretty ugly. I just missed a significant portion of my mouth. Cardboard, no, man. Acrylic. Ugly acrylic. Please don't suck. I might need to go find a razor blade. No. Yes. Mark, you got that 911 number handy, buddy? I'm doing something dumb. Oh, here we go. Satisfying peel time. Look at that. Oh, tore it a little bit. That's not very satisfying. Oh man, I messed up. I got a little cocky there. We got a little cocky there. All right. I heard tearing. No, no, one piece, one piece, one piece, one piece. Got it. Here we go again. I love this knife. So, Hypermotive is the Mercury 1.1. Is that one of the Ender 5 Plus conversions, or is that like a freestanding kit? Like, is that its own thing? Or is it a conversion kit? Ender 5. Like OG Ender 5 or like, so the reason I'm asking is I have an Ender 5 Plus chilling. Like it has a much thicker coat of dust on it than my Voron 2.4. Boom. Oh. What? Now hold on it. This here cable chain, which I have put in a place. Guys, where did I put the cable chain? All right. Ah, it's hiding under my knife. Well, what I'm getting at is I want to not hate my Ender 5 Plus. I bought it several years ago because I thought I was going to print big stuff with it. I was wrong. The thing is printed one big part and it's 2/3 of a Master Chief helmet. All right. So what we're doing, what I just did is I took one of the anchor ends off of the cable chain. So that way it can be attached right here with 2 M3x8 bolts and nuts. 2 parts, corexy, conversion, and tri-bed leveling. See, like it's a lot of frame and I would hate for the thing to go to waste, but I just never had luck with it. And I did, at one point it had a BMG extruder and it has a SKR 2. I dropped a nut. It has an I dropped both nuts. Yes, Mark, you are here for the main power up. The first ever. Make sure we don't let the magic smoke out of the loop. It's like building a computer. Ooh, you're running a sprite on yours. Interesting. Oh, no, 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 they're both gone forever. They're gone forever. I really hope there's extras in this bag. There's a lot in there, so I'm hoping that some of them are extras. If not, this goes back to our conversation from the other day. This is why we keep spare parts on hand. And I feel like M3 nuts and bolts are common enough fixins in the 3D printing space that having assortments of those are wildly important. Even printed your V0 parts. I'm really glad that I didn't have to print my own V0 parts. Fysetc hooked it up and they included them for this build. Makes me really happy. All right, time to install this panel, which is covered in dust and debris impressively. Let's just slide in this extrusion like this. That felt way more aggressive than it needed to. Dude, Mark, my Menards has the worst. So, okay. I enjoy Menards because they have everything. You can go in there shopping for 2x4s and leave with frozen pizzas and cat food and a 99 Mercury. But that store is chaos. Like, nothing is ever where it feels like it should be, and I've been there countless times. Like, I legitimately could not fathom how many freaking times that I have been to Menards. And for the life of me, I still can't find things. They have a great lumber selection, and like they have everything. But holy smokes, man. How am I supposed to find anything in that establishment? It's chaos. Freaking chaos. Alright, I'm fetching a bunch of M3 nuts. So I'm not counting how many I need. So, in this rail, we're gonna put 3. Ah. Okay, we're off to a good start, team. Big brain time. Preloading these nuts, I'm just going to put them onto a loose M3 bolt that was sitting on my desk. Just give it like a little baby turn. New School V6 and a OG Titan. The Titan was a good extruder when it came out. Alright, now I need to put 4 of these per each of these bottom sections of rail. Tell them to update it. Like, just tell Menards that nothing makes any sense and to make it not be crazy? Is that what you mean? Dude, I have to say, the EVA toolhead is super well thought out. Like, super, super well thought out. It kind of astonishes me the amount of variety there is for that toolhead system. Okay. This preload system is actually working super efficiently. Like, is it as fast as just being able to zip those screws in there? No. However, it is allowing me to not lose all of these nuts everywhere. And I feel like the trade-off of not having to round up 2,000 M3 nuts off the floor to keep going on the build realistically is worth it for my sanity. Okay, 3 up here, 4 here, 4 there. Moving on. What? You need more nuts? Okay. You're the boss instructions. Now this one is a little bit easier. Where did I, what? A 2? A 3? Okay. see. Yeah. So you've got the Gmax back to 100%, you say. Mark, I know that I've seen you do some pretty rad stuff for content creators. What else do you use these giant printers for? Like, are you just like making a slew of helmets? Are you building your own like Iron Man fleet of armor sets? Like, I'm genuinely curious to know, what in the heck do you use all of those giant printers for? Okay, Alex, you're being awful quiet over there. Did you fall asleep? Alright, those nuts are all preloaded. B extrusion. What is B extrusion? Golly gee. Down here. Alright, just making sure that you didn't vanish. B extrusion is no hole extrusion. I just wanted to make sure you didn't miss the fact that this printer is starting to take shape and become a 3D printer. Just waiting to see power up. Mark. Soon. Soon, man. You can't rush art. B extrusion. This is B extrusion, and it is going to get an M3 by 10 in either end, and it's also going to get preloaded with more nuts. I'm confused. Where do these nuts need to go? On the bottom facing channel. The fun part is, it's a choose my own adventure, and I get to pick which one's the bottom facing panel. So we're putting 4 more M3 nuts in. So much of this build is just like setting yourself up for future success. Okay. That. Okay, now how? Like, it says it's just gonna sit loosey-goosey. Last chance. And the next few steps will install the front extrusions. And it just wants me to make sure that I've got all my nuts in a row. And I'm pretty confident that I do. I think I know where this is going. You guys tired of me thinking that I know what's going on with this? But I did it. So we're using this extrusion that has a couple of extra holes in it, but we have to make sure that we can tighten this top rail and both of these bottom rails with it. More power. Dude, I don't have bang enter. I don't know how to do bang enter, and I don't have that much stuff to give away. Which I'm actually past due on a couple of giveaways. So the very first person who won one of my filament giveaways, for those of you guys who don't know, my intent is to give away a spool of Polymaker filament every 500 subscribers here on the channel. Well, the first individual who won, after I finally managed to get in touch with them, is another content creator here on YouTube. Really very nice individual. His name is Shay. His channel here on YouTube is Shayway Tech. I do believe it's either Shayway or Shayaway. I think it's Shayway. Anyway, Shay is a super nice dude, and he and I have had a few conversations. And before I knew that Fysetc was including the printed parts, which I'm going to be honest, I didn't know that this printer had printed parts coming with it until we unboxed it. And surprise, here's some printed parts. Last Tuesday, I was actually in talks with Shay to have him use his bamboo printer and print the parts for us. And he's a super nice guy, awesome content creator. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with giving away filament? Well, he was the very first winner of my filament giveaways. Guys, look, we got a cube. So cute, it's so little. We have a cube. We have a cube. Anyway, so Shay was the first winner. And why is that relevant? Well, it is because he agreed. Oh yeah, it's heat set time, baby. Shay agreed to forego his winnings, and I still need to draw a new winner from the first giveaway. But we're giving away a spool of Polymaker filament every 500 subscribers here on the channel. Right? 500? Yeah. Every 500 subscribers we're giving away a spool of Polymaker. So I do need to redraw that giveaway. And to enter, I only have a couple of requirements. You need to be subscribed to the channel for one, and comment on the video. We're picking winners based off of comments off of random videos. I'm not doing specific videos for that. We're just throwing it up so that way, as long as you're commenting and interacting with what we're doing, you have the same chance of winning as everybody else who's commenting and interacting with what we're doing. All right. Now it's time to use our fun new tool. So I'm gonna set our little buddy off to the side for a second. 250. 609. Yeah, we're at 609. Is it 250? I guess I'm gonna have to go back and review my own rules. I don't remember if it was 250 or 500. I thought we were doing 500. I might be wrong. I will have to check that. Today is not the day for me to check that. But make sure you're subscribed for your chance to win filament, and comment and share the videos and show some love. Mark, you do a good job of participating. All right, guys, give me 2 seconds. I need to get a quick breath of fresh air. I'll be right back. Don't run away. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, y'all. Nature called. There is no active giveaway. Bang enter does not work here. I don't know how to do bang enter. I'm not one of the cool kids. All right, so we are moving on. We've got some printed parts right here, and bang exit can't work because bang enter doesn't work, you heathen. It's time to do some belt idlers, starting with the A side. I feel like these big old printed nuts are going to be necessary too. Oh gosh, I'm trying my best to stay organized throughout this whole process. Bang, bang on the door, baby. Oh, sweet, they're labeled. Okay, so it's time to install some heat set inserts using my super awesome heat set insert press. Where are the heat set inserts? I'm gonna bring this over here and look for the heat set inserts. I'm really doing my best to stay organized. Like, I realize that this looks like chaos, and it's kind of chaos because it is, but I'm keeping stuff in bags. I'm not taking anything out of the bag unless I'm actively using it. I think so. I know Calyx is. Hypermotive, you still here? All right, we're going to install 3 heat set inserts, and I grabbed 4 in case I drop one on the floor. All right, so these are going to go towards the front. So these 3 larger holes in the front are where the heat set inserts are going to live. So sit below the surface. The outer heat set inserts sit below the surface of the part. Make sure the heat inserts bottom out in their hole. I'm so excited to get to use this tool. If you guys haven't watched the video on this thing, you should, because it's fun. And I edited it. Editor Beau had no involvement, no say. I was a rogue operative. I think that's all the way in. Look at that. This thing is awesome. This thing is so rad, man. Well, Calyx, I don't know exactly where you live, but I do know what town you live in, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. So there's that. I love using heat set inserts. They're so freaking satisfying. What do you... You're our mascot. You have to be there. I don't remember this from a couple of weeks ago. Oh boy. Things are about to get a little tricky. Alright, so tensioner is going to live inside of here. You do too. You are a required member of the team, Calyx. Because your support is very valuable to us. All right. Back into the box of parts. Are you the one? There are so many parts. What do you mean you'll remember that at state? You slept through state last year. You said, I'd rather stay home and sleep than go support my team. You probably sounded just like that too. I'm not getting out of bed. I don't gotta get up early. Okay, we will start there. Time for more heat set inserts. See? I grabbed an extra for good cause. This thing has a handle on it, and if I'm being honest, I do not care about this handle whatsoever. Gosh, that's clean. I love using heat set inserts in printed parts. You get back in there. Okay, there are some things happening here. So this part is going to get 2 M3 by 35s. Some long boys. And they're going to go in so these are going to be we're about to start building spacer stacks, which means we're going to be dealing with some small components. But we're getting ready for belts. I feel like we're making actually pretty decent progress. There we go. Okay. Shim. I had bearings somewhere. Those are idler gears. Do I need idler gears? Nope, just shims. No. Flanged bearings are right. Oh. And I had dinner before this, but I'm getting hungry. Let's not do that. Let's not make a mess. Okay, what else do I need? Printed spacer. That's an accent color. Let's just move you over there for a minute. Okay. So, this gets a spacer. Followed by a shim. This one gets a shim. It's the old 1 for me, 2 for you. All right. 2 bearings. Followed by 2 bearings. Okay. Time for some more shim action. 2 shims here. These shims are slightly oily. 1 shim there. And then we're gonna get a couple more of these flanged bearings right there, followed by another shim. And then our bearing stack is complete. It's gonna look a little bit something like that. So, with that assembled, we're going to bring our A assembly, which is right here. Golly. So that's why it's supposed to be upside down. Like this? Nope. Where in the world? How is this supposed to line up? Yeah, no, it's gotta go in here like this. I'm losing my marbles here. How in the hell? Yeah, those are in the right places. What? Okay, yep. Oh. I see. So then that would go... Ah. Okay, I understand. I used the wrong... I was using the wrong cover. Losing my mind, friends. I'm losing my mind. Which means we've got to do another heat set insert. That's okay though. Okay. Really don't want to take that apart. It's okay. Starting to get a little tired. Okay, so to do a little bit of backtracking, I probably had things right, but I swear I'm genuinely trying to follow these instructions to the best of my ability. So basically we just have to do what we just did, but again with the piece that corresponds with A. Not the end of the world, just a little bit of a setback. But it's not about how you get set back, it's about how you recover from it. I had to put way more thought into this than I probably should have to figure out what the heck was going on. I'm really impressed with the quality of these printed parts from Fysetc. Like, I'm really curious to know what printer they're printing their ABS or ASA parts on. I don't know whether this is ABS or ASA. The print quality is pretty good. What's interesting is there are different textures. So like some of these were done on smooth build plates, some of them were done on textured build plates, which I think is really interesting. Like, how do they decide which build plate they're running for what they're doing? I think Jonathan Levy, actually, I think they were one of the companies that he actually visited on his recent China trip, which there were some really cool videos that came out of that trip to China. It was really cool getting to see like how the company cultures are and like how the Chinese-based printer manufacturers kind of operate and do stuff. What really blew me away the most, I think, was just how many of the manufacturers were like friends with each other. Like, that business culture is entirely different from what we're used to here in the United States. It's crazy. Like here, we would, I feel like we really wouldn't have CEOs of companies. I feel like that's fine. Like I feel like here, we would, nope, that is not fine. That has to stay in there. Because it's gonna be trapped forever. Like I feel like here, we would not have like I feel like the CEO of Walmart would not be friends with the CEO of Meijer in the United States. Okay, so we've got our A idler. This is how we're going to tension our belts. Or, yes. Final stack height. No, we're good. We are good. A drive. What's really cool is this printed nut. It's gonna fit on here. I'm jumping ahead a little bit. I'm gonna take it back off, but this is what it's gonna look like. Freaking cool. Like, look how fun that is. All right, so now we are going to run M3 by 30s. Those are 40s. Those are 25s. 16, 8, It's you that I was looking for. So we need two M3 by 30s. And these are going to thread right here at the front, and they're going to interact with our threaded inserts that we installed. I feel like I should be using like power tools for this. I need one of those fancy electric screwdrivers everybody else has. There is nothing wrong with some good old elbow grease, sweat equity. Nobody ever died just having to turn a screwdriver, probably. Maybe I'll be the first one. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Boom, baby. All right, we are fully held together. Oh, that is snug as a bug in a rug. That's fine. That'll work itself out. Okay. Irish jig. I wonder if they printed me one of those. Oh! How freaking cool is that? It's time to start thinking about adding some motors, friends. Stepper motor time. We're using this adorable little NEMA 14. We need a pulley. Where did I put the pulleys? Fantastico. All right. So this jig right here should work a little bit something like this. That's pretty cool. So this is labeled as a measuring tool. Okay, Alex, I'm not calling you a liar, but my mom is a 911 dispatcher, and I'm pretty confident more people than that have died by the hand of screwdrivers in Mansfield this year. Okay, so these motors have a D shaft, and I tightened one of these screws just ever so slightly enough, one of our set screws, just ever so slightly enough so that way it couldn't spin freely on the motor shaft anymore. So that way I can use this fancy jig while the motor's trying to run away from me. There we go. This is super, super smart. And then we just check for fitment. Should be good. Oh. Not murder. Okay. All right, then I'm really cinching those down. Quick sanity check. The bottom, the space should be 8.5 millimeters. What am I measuring that to? Interesting. Yeah, it looks fine. I'm thinking that's okay. Let me just check and see if I have any more pulleys, because that is a little suspect. So the instructions are saying 8.5 millimeters from the top of the motor to a part in that bearing, that idler bearing. I guess it's not an idler since we just put it on a motor, but you know. No, there are no more. So I'm going with the assumption that the jig is right. So the question mark, if you're asking about what's going on. So this GT2 pulley gear is supposed to be 8.5 millimeters from the top of the motor to the bottom of the flange. And I'm getting like 6.5, but when I checked it with the handy dandy printed tool jig, it checks out. So I'm thinking that it's going to be fine. Actually, I'm going to bump it up just a touch, because I feel like we're right in. I feel like we want to be pretty centered with that. Yeah. Oh, like the dimensional accuracy of the jig. That's a good point. So, let's see. Hey, we've got 5 people hanging out. Thanks for coming, y'all. So, let's see. The jig is 14 and a half. 14 and 3/4? Yeah, about 14 and a half on the jig. So the jig says it's like 14 and a half. What in the world? So it should be the first step. Yeah, I mean, that looks... I'm pondering if this is a different bearing than what the I wonder if they sourced a different bearing. because I mean, that checks out. Let's see, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that, but I mean, it's there. I think it's going to be okay. Famous last words. Okay, so the wires are going to come right here. Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be fine, probably. Time will tell. If I'm shredding belts, we'll know what the problem is. All right, so we need M3 by 35s, and we're actually going to attach the motor. And I'm thinking what the game plan tonight, guys. This was kind of an unplanned stream. I'm thinking what the game plan tonight's going to be is I think we're going to get through doing the B motor assembly. We're doing the A motor right now. So I think we're going to do the B motor and we will probably call it here for the night. So we do have some time left. I am thoroughly enjoying myself. I'm having much more fun with this build than I did with the parts of the 2.4 that I've done so far. Being said, I have a much better area to work on this than I did the 2.4. The 2.4, I was doing it literally on the floor. And it was just not a good time. I didn't have a level workspace other than my floor. Okay, yep, we're gonna... Yeah, that'll be fine. Alright, so the motors are going to face towards the thready boy. I checked. That is the scientific term. Right. Get that one started, get that one started. You have no idea, Mark. One of my very good friends really hates it when I say that things are gonna be fine. He has exactly zero confidence when I say that things are gonna be fine. I use the phrase, yeah, it's probably fine, way more times in my day-to-day than any normal person should. Calyx, whose side are you on? Oh, sweet. All right, so we're in a position right now where there would be no tension applied, so I'm gonna tighten these screws most of the way. We're gonna get them pretty snug, just so that things hold their place. I want to be able to, when we're routing our motors, my goal is that we run the motors and get our belts. When we run our belts, my goal is to be able to run those in a manner where there is ample room to tighten. Because one thing with a new 3D printer is, over time, your belts will loosen up because they're getting stretched. So I want to make sure that that is happening appropriately. Boom. So this is going to drive our A motor. And now we have to repeat everything that we just did over here, which we're going to be in a much better position to do because, one, we've already done it, and we actually already did it to this one. Just have to do 3 more threaded inserts over here, and we're gonna be golden for now. Bring the heat set press back over for your viewing pleasure. Slow, steady pressure. And then we got to do it 2 more times. So the only thing that I have done for this build that has been off live stream. No, I don't want to start a fire. I mean, sure. Just rewind the stream and play it again. Yes. 100%. If I could do that, I would do that. Like, this guy already knows what's going on. Let's talk to him. No, seriously though, I genuinely wish that I could. Okay, 35s. I have no fire. Sorry, Calyx. Tried to start a fire. Failed. Lighter's out of butane. Alright, so we're running 2 M5 by... Yes, M3. These are M3 screws. 2 M3 by 35s. What are you gonna protest, dude? All right. I need another printed spacer. This is one of those same but different situations. It's probably more shims than were needed. I got so many shims. All right, so we're going shim, shim. And then let's see here. The front, which is towards me, goes bearing, bearing. The back, which is towards you, goes bearing, bearing. The side closest to you is then going to get 2 shims, and it goes bearing, bearing again. Side closest to me gets 1 shim, followed by Yol Spaceroo. All right, we're gonna learn from our mistakes this time, gang. Boom! How much faster that was when I wasn't like panicking. Look at that. How neat is that? You can protest all you want. No one's gonna listen. All right. I will expect a fire tomorrow. We're not streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow's bowling day. Mark, it's only bad that you forgot you had parts in the printer from this morning. If you start another print. I have to keep reminding myself to not start prints on the P1P right now because I have TPU in it, and I'm really not trying to figure out if TPU can print at PLA settings on my Bamboo. All right, so we're using the little tool again. So, I mean, say what you will, however, I am more inclined to trust the jig than I am the measurement. For some reason, now, this might be one of those things that comes back to bite me later. But I don't often find myself in situations where I need to question whether or not I trust my gut. However, this is one of those situations where I want to trust the jig as opposed to my measuring abilities. Same situation here. Now we need the M3 by 35s again. 4 of them. They're each going to get a washer. I really scratched up the filming table, gang. So, I'm curious, from a viewership perspective, do you guys do you prefer watching videos or streams where the host is seated or standing? Do you have a preference one way or another? The reason I ask is I'm trying to regularly make investments into the stream into the channel. So we're not exclusively streamers. I'm trying to continuously make investments to improve the quality of the video. whether it be personal education time, whether it be actually spending money. And I do not love the current set that we use. I do not super love the way that things look, and I'm not sold on sitting. Now, I will say, given the fact that we're currently doing a printer build, being seated is pretty darn nice. But I'm considering spending a couple of hundred of doll hairs on buying a standing workbench. I think from a presentation standpoint, things would probably look better if I were standing. I don't know if it really makes a big difference. This is just kind of what goes on in my head. We have our B motor drive. That was so much faster than the A motor drive. Mostly because there was no existential crisis having to happen. There was no panic this time. I'm gonna put these shims back because I'm really doing my best here to stay organized. Alright, shims are secured. Dang it. Boom. Alright. I'm going to turn you off because I feel like that is some sort of safety hazard. Alright. Time to bring back the baby printer. And we're going to get these mounted up. Ah, I see. The 2 rear screws attached to the threaded frame ends. The 2 forward screws attached to preloaded nuts. All right. Motor. Is installed. Get you snug. I'm so glad that we didn't forget to put those nuts in there. It would have been a disaster. Really blows me away, like, this machine is so cleverly designed. Like, seriously. What the hell? There we go. Oh gosh, it makes me so happy. Like, as we're installing components, it's starting to come together and actually resemble a freaking 3D printer. And what really blows me away is it would fit inside of the bamboo. More 35s. This is so rad, man. All right, we are getting close to having these installed. So we're using these, our preloaded nuts from earlier that we put into our extrusions as additional reinforcement, which is super cool. So that should make this frame super rigid. Being said, this is kind of difficult to nail down just right. The first one I think I got really lucky on. So I'm trying to use the screwdriver to fasten while I use the Allen key to kind of like shuffleboard this stupid screw into the right spot, or nut rather. So far, this has been absolutely the most fiddly part of this whole process. And I'm not sure if there's some sort of trick on getting it just right. But we gonna try. Please tell me I just nailed it. Oh, you've got to be. No way. Whew. starting to get concerned. Because it wasn't wanting to go. That's okay. We got it. All right, 2 more, and then I think that's where we call it for the night. You guys get to watch me spaz out 2 more times. Sorry you guys aren't really able to see a lot of what's happening right now. I don't even begin to know how I would show this to you. No idea. All right. 1 more screw and that's where it lives for the night. Because I'm tired, I have to work tomorrow. So far, I have had a blast doing these. Oh, nailed that one, sweet. I have had a blast doing these 2 live streams. Like, it has been seriously fun getting to hang out with you guys. Oh no, I didn't nail it. Getting to hang out with you guys has been a lot of fun. And I think we are going to have to try to figure out how to do more live streams together in the future. Because it's a blast. I just want to make sure that I'm being respectful of your time and actually have something cool to do. Like, that's part of why we haven't done very many live streams yet. Is just I haven't really had a whole lot to do. And I don't want to just go live for the sake of going live if there's no, like, game plan, you know? Not about it. All right. That is it. That is where we are going to call this for the night. It's 10:40 my time. So we've done a lot. Like, at this point, we got the bulk of the frame assembled, and we also have our Z-axis built. We got our motor assemblies done, so that way we can move our little baby carriage around. Like, we're making pretty good progress, guys. There are 235 pages of instructions. Some of them are slightly gratuitous steps. Some of them are sketches. Some of them are telling us to stop and take a break. But where we're at right now, we are on... We're on page like 85. We're on 84. Page 84 is where we're at. So we're cooking right along. I'm really happy with the progress that we're making. I think that we are doing well. We're 2 streams in and we have all this. How freaking glorious. It's a baby, and I love it. So, that's what we're gonna call it for tonight. For those of you who have been hanging out, I appreciate you. For those of you who are just coming in, I appreciate you stopping to check in. Oh, holy cow. So chat wasn't loading. I'm using the YouTube Studio app to see what's going on with chat. And the last thing that I saw chat-wise was when Builders Mark asked about parts on the printer. I just gave it a refresh. I didn't realize how much whole conversation you guys had going on over there. Mark, it's not ready to plug in yet. It will be. It's not 50 more streams, Calyx. This is like, honestly, if we keep at this rate, this thing is gonna be done quick. Like, I don't know how long, but not that long. So, thank you for the feedback on the sitting or standing. Regarding the thought, Loyal Moses has touched on it, and in his opinion, it seems to convey better energy from what I recall. I think he's right. I think there is more energy able to be conveyed. When you're sitting, it's a little bit more sedentary. So yeah, I think that there's more energy to show off on stream. It's not gonna take 50 more streams, guys. Like 5 at the most. 5 at the most. I don't want to jinx anything, but if we keep at this pace, we're gonna be printing with this before October's over. Get to work. Dude, I have to go to work tomorrow. I have to be there at 9. So, probably not gonna happen. We are not gonna keep going. Trust me, I really want to. You guys remember the Nerf blaster? I don't even know where it is. It's not here. When I built the Nerf blaster, I originally set out to film the whole thing. Like, I wanted to film it start to finish so that way I could put together a really interesting video about it. The problem is, I got into the middle of the build, I ran out of storage for the camera, and I just kept going. And I was up until like 2 o'clock in the morning that night because I couldn't sleep. Because I wanted my Nerf blaster done, and I wanted it done right now. So, with that in mind, I'm not doing that with the Voron. I'm having fun with the build, and we're going to do it at a reasonable pace. So that way, it doesn't get half finished like the other one. Yes, that thing that shot and left whelps. I was gonna take it to, so I took it to work, but we didn't shoot anybody with it, and then I immediately decided it was never going back to work again after I took a shot from it. Because, ouch. But, on that note, friends, I appreciate you stopping and hanging out. Anybody who has made it through this far, if you haven't already subscribed, I would greatly recommend it. We're working on growing. We're working on our watch hours right now. We are at just about 2,500 watch hours. Once we hit 3,000, we'll be eligible for channel memberships and super chats, which is awesome. Can start making a little bit of money maybe. On that note, friends, have a wonderful evening. I'm tired.